Good morning. How is everyone today? I can't even tell you the last time I went live on YouTube. And I have noticed, because I've been absent on a lot of social media and stuff, the many things that have changed with social media. And I thought it would only kind of like behoove me to jump onto YouTube because I love YouTube. I love the length. They give you as much time as possible to see what was new. And the only thing that I can ask of any social media is please give us some filters so we have some choices. I typically put myself together every morning regardless, but it would be nice if we just had like some filters that we could pick and choose from, like TikTok has or like Instagram has. And for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Kitryn Marie. I do reside in St. Louis, Missouri, where I normally give a weather report. I'm an artist, a writer, a speaker, a life and a business coach. I also have my hand in food and beverage. And I'm going to try to adjust some stuff here because, like I said, it has been so long since I have gone live, and even a couple months since I have uploaded a video. So bear with me here. I kind of like that I don't really have a glare, and I don't want to mess with that too much. But I need a little extra lighting. Lighting is good. Lighting makes everything better. Look at that. How is everybody, though? How's everybody been managing, really? And a great big prayer and shout out to everyone that has been affected by the tornadoes. What the heck is going on? Seriously, what is going on with our weather? Jokingly, I say the people that run the establishment, I think they've got apparatuses up in the sky somewhere where we can't see that is messing with the way the airstream is occurring. But that's just my personal opinion. You can think whatever you want. I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to even try to convince you to do anything outside of your comfort zone. Although, as a life coach, I will question everything that you do. It's how I was trained. It's actually how I was raised. You know, my grandma used to say, "Kit, you don't need to rock the boat." And I would say to her, but in order to get the answers that I need to shake it up a little bit and we'll see who's going to fall out and who can stay in. And that's pretty much how I have lived through most of my life thus far. I'll be 62 in July, trying very hard to keep everything all together: image, appearance, weight, health. 2013, I was diagnosed with a chronic illness. It's not life threatening, but it does affect a lot of things in my life. They said it was a leukemia. I really kind of think it's an autoimmune issue, usually with the weather. Like today here in St. Louis, yesterday it was beautiful in the 70s. Today it's 17 degrees cooler. The wind is just god awful, and I am very prone to allergies and histamine releases, chronic hives when stress affects my life, when certain temperatures change. Um, Usually it affects my voice, my throat. I get hives. It's really weird. And I do believe that is an autoimmune issue, and I pay attention to my gut. I pay attention to the food that I take in. I pay attention to my surroundings all the time, mostly very hyper vigilant. That comes from some post traumatic stress thing as a child growing up, and the coping mechanisms that I have adapted to in order to keep me safe. Um, as an artist, when I'm teaching my classes, and that's one of my paintings. Actually, there's two sides to that, but I only have the one hanging up. When I am teaching my classes, I like to introduce not only color and talk about shape and image, but talk about perspective and perception and how it has shaped you growing up and how It has altered how you believe today. Throat's getting a little dry. Like I said, the weather, it's just crazy wind. The little dog and I went outside today, my little Shug. She's about 40 pounds. She's an Aussie healer. She got some hound in her. She's just a great dog. One blue eye, one brown eye. Hang on. But her and I went outside to assess what damage we had because the wind really, really started kicking up. And where I keep my horse, they were calling for tornado warnings and things like that all day yesterday. So I've been kind of watching weather. I will run out to my Ruby girl, my 1,200-pound dinosaur, as I like to call her. She needs some food, and I'm praying my vehicle will get me there and it will not blow off the beaten path. But again, how is everybody doing? What are you paying attention to? What are you doing to enrich your life? Are you taking any classes? Are you reading any books? Are you turning the TV off and getting any exercise, any extra activity that you can bring into your life that is going to behoove your mental health? Who are you following on all of the social medias? Who has your interest? Guys, girls, are you mindlessly scrolling through your social media like I do? I admit it. After working my restaurant gig, depending on the hours, there are some days I come home, I can't move. I threw my hip out St. Patrick's Day because I worked a double, and I refused to tell myself I'm going to be 62. I still go in that same work mode like I did when I was in my 30s and in my 40s, and doing a double on St. Patrick's Day, although I made some very decent money, it about took me out. Throughout both of my hips, actually, I had bought. And for anybody who is over 45 and is still trying to exercise and keep very svelty, I'm telling you, do not get the rocking tennis shoes at all. They're fine for an hour or two if you're walking your neighborhood, walking a clear, straight path. But when you are running around doing a job, do not wear them for 16 hours. Yesterday, I laid around. I could not function. I worked a little extra on, what day was it? Thursday. We had opening day here in St. Louis for the Cardinals, our baseball. We are a baseball town. And just as I was coming out of St. Patrick's Day mode with throwing both of my hips out, and mind you, my kid's a personal trainer, and the oldest one, personal trainer and a massage therapist. And I've taken quite a few medical classes in my studying. That's a whole other story. My dad wanted me to be a nurse. He wanted me to be a veterinarian, and I didn't want to do any. So I became a medical assistant right out of high school. Later on in life, took anatomy and physiology again because I needed to learn more about the body. And then when I was diagnosed with an illness, I deep dive right into immunology. Anyway, digress. When I had thrown my hips out on St. Patrick's Day, knowing where the iliac crest and the sacrum is and how it all plays when you are walking, and how it does throw your hips out of alignment if your posture and you are having something that is throwing your balance off. So, as I like to call, and I wait tables on and off, just here and there. But when they say, hey, I need you, I am always right there. That's just my work ethic. That's just who I am. I just jump in and I just do like I'm supposed to do. And the kids that I work with, they just laugh and they tolerate me, but all day long they ask, Kit, are you okay? Do you need anything? This is the best group of kids I have ever worked with in my entire life. And then, of course, there's a couple of them that don't really like me being there, but they tolerate me nonetheless. But I worked, day was it? Thursday, like I said, with the Cardinal opening day, and I worked a little extra, and it re-injured something again. So yesterday, I did nothing. My day off, I want to go, I want to do. I did go sit out in the yard with the little dog, and started to pull some weeds. And I'm like, nah, I can't do this yet. I am a warm weather girl. How about you? Do you like this kind of weather? Does it affect your health? Does it affect your breathing? Does it affect the way that you function? I like 75-degree weather. I like sun. In fact, today I might go someplace and try to find somewhere where I can tan. I might go somewhere where I might even get my nails done, which I have not done in over 2 years because I'm not high maintenance like that. But I feel like I need something to comfort whatever funk that I am going through. I did a TikTok this morning, and you can find me on TikTok under Magic Maker. I think it's Kitryn Marie. I always forget what it is. But just look Kitryn Marie, hashtag it, and it will show up. You can find me on Facebook under KM Designs, A Writer's Mind. You will also find that on Instagram. And I'm re-upping everything on Pinterest. One of my videos from 2 years ago that I went on a trip with my person went viral last week. It was pretty exciting. I'm like, something that was 2 years later, it showed up. So, as a business coach, when I am teaching whomever it is how to start a side hustle, do not dismiss what is going to show up under your business, under your name 2 years later, because I was pretty excited that video went viral. For a while, I was traveling like a crazy woman, using my photography, taking my camera, using my experiences to show people that there is more to the life that they are living. But you just have to have an unlimited belief system. You have to believe in your own potential, and you have to turn off all the things that you were told as a child to behoove somebody else that isn't benefiting you. Nobody wants to be with anybody that cannot see their own potential and have the self-confidence that they need in order to thrive happily and with real long-term joy in this life. And we talk about a lot of these things through my business coaching, through my life coaching, where I use a vision board as a tool to help you see all the things that you want to gain in your life. Using your imagination is so important, even as an adult. Um, you know, Life, it just changes. It really does. And you need to adapt to the change. You need to understand how your mind processes sometimes loss, sometimes change, sometimes things occur that are totally out of our alignment. They occur out of our control, and where we pretty much, as human beings, like to control situations, we need to understand what free will looks like, and how, when you use your imagination, how it opens up the channels and what I like to call the flaps between the left and the right brain, that allows you to have all these wonderful enrichments in your life, bringing that sensation and that feeling into your life on the things that make you happy. I love my horse. I love my Ruby girl. I have not been out there in the last couple of weeks as often as I would like to, because the other part of life, and I can feel myself in this funk because I am not able to do the things, because right now it is very tough. Economically, it is hard. Buying groceries is insane. And although I do have a really good budget and I've got that down to a science, I think, you're trying to pay attention to the things that you need to be responsible for. And I keep saying adulting keeps getting in the way, but to be responsible for yourself also means to find the enrichment and the happiness that you need to bring into your life. And when I am using a vision board as a tool to teach, you would be surprised when people are in my classes. They don't really know what they've signed up for, other than they're unhappy with where they are, the stance and the lot in their life. But a vision board allows you to use your imagination, the things that we are told as an adult that we don't need to pay attention to because logic and reasoning has set in. I love this mug. It was a gift 20 years ago from one of my customers. They said, I saw this mug and I thought you needed it. The Queen has spoken. I love it. But using your imagination, if you take 10 minutes out of your day and you just sit and you're doing nothing, maybe you're scrolling through your phone, maybe you're drinking coffee, tea, whatever, getting your morning routine together. What is the craziest thing that you can put in your imagination that is just going to make you laugh and giggle? Something that just gives you that all over joy. You know, I come from a musical family. My mom sang semi-professional before she died. My dad played a variety of instruments by ear. He could carry a tune a little bit. My grandpa played the bass guitar, was in a band forever, as long as in my growing years before he passed away, was in a band. My sister sang in a band here in St. Louis, Missouri for 2 decades. She was quite the sensation. You know, when people find out that she's my sister, they're like, oh, you're Beth's sister? Because she was somebody. She was a big deal. And I can carry a tune. That's not my thing. I'm more of the artist. I love to paint. I love to speak. I love to teach. I love to write. You can go over to my blog at imperfectionsmadebeautiful.blogspot.com. Pretty in pink, perfect in paisley. You can see my writings over there. But in my crazy imagination, I always imagine that I am on a stage, that I am singing. I have a band behind me, and I have done that twice in my adult life. Some years back, somebody was just needing a female vocalist to step in to give something extra to their band. It only happened 2 times. But anyway, in my mind, I just imagine the feeling. And I've done theater. I studied theater in high school and college, was in 2 plays long time ago in my youth. And, you know, that feeling, there's nothing like it when you walk onto stage and you have that presence. And not that I'm that kind of person that I'm like, pay attention to me, look at me, look what I can do, because that is not who I am. But there is some persona when a person walks onto stage and they are willing to be vulnerable and they are willing to be open, and people are watching, one in shock, one in awe, one in amazement, one to be entertained, one to where they want to gossip and they want to talk about you and they want to criticize. But there is nothing like that joy of walking onto a stage, performing, and allowing the best part of what you are able to do creatively to be shown to the public. And in my mind, you know, I'm singing before 100 people, and I don't know what I'm singing. That part doesn't matter. But it's using the imagination where all of a sudden you're just more relaxed with who you are. And when you are using your imagination like that, it releases the endorphins in your mind, in the hippocampus that stores all your emotions, good or bad, all of your memories, good or bad. And for just a few seconds, that part of your brain is allowing you to actually be doing that. And it sends these wonderful endorphins where it allows you to look for the better things in your life. And since the pandemic, and that is exactly what I will call it, a marketing scheme for those that wanted to get on that doom and gloom wagon, having your imagination, and after going through what they told us we needed to do, many people resorted back to what I now call the self-absorbed pod. They stopped using their imagination. And although people are, you know, have resumed life, there is still a great handful of people that have not come out of that pod. And as a life coach, I question what is it that's keeping people locked from taking these enrichment classes, um, enjoying people that are like minded. Because the universe, your higher power, your God, however you want to call that all omnious being, wants to align you with people who are like minded, like yourself. They want you to be, he, she wants you to be enriched with people that want to share the same joys. I love having an audience when I'm teaching. Again, not because look at me, but because I am offering knowledge. I am teaching perspective and perception. I am showing people who want to open that other side of their mind because there are so many things that are not working in their life. Usually, people who are very unhappy and very stuck in this place is because they don't know how to get out of rigidity. It's a hard word to say. People like predictable, they like structure, they like familiar, and they want things that do not make them feel, excuse me, uncomfortable. They want to stay locked in things that they know exactly what that outcome is going to be. Many people, they do a job Monday through Friday. They go in at 7 or 8. They work to 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes they work longer because they know they have been given a routine. They have been given orders. They know what the benefit is going to be from following that order. And they know at the end of the week they're going to receive a paycheck. Now, what most people don't understand is how that is messing with free will and the independent part of your brain that wants to think on things that would make them happy. And because they need that rigidness, because they need that predictability, because they need that routine and that structure, they do not know how not to be a conformist. And as an independent thinker, as a teacher who strives to show people that you have more than one way to do something. When I started out on this journey in 2013, totally betrayed by a relationship that I was in. It was just devastating. The humiliation that went along with it, the embarrassment that went along with it, knowing who he was cheating with, then being diagnosed with an illness that caught me so off guard. But now looking back, thinking that was my higher power saying, in order to get you out of this abusive relationship, because cheating is abuse, narcissism is abuse. My higher power said, I'm going to make you sick, so you have to leave that relationship. So you have to focus on the things that are going to get you healthy, get you back in shape, get your mind where it needs to be. And as I was trying to heal, working in an environment that was literally killing me, working in an environment of the most toxic and unhealthy human beings, but because it was familiar to me and it was easy to earn $1, in the long run, I wasn't making any money and I was making myself sicker. And I was putting up with more abuse of a different kind until one day one of my own customers pulled out a gun, flailing it around. The shock and the betrayal of knowing that nobody had my back. And it was up to me to change my life. It was up for me to walk away out of this situation. Now, in this prior years too, I had been studying to become a life coach and a business coach, trying to understand people's behaviors and their characters. Alcoholism is a disease. Drug addiction is a disease. Gambling is a disease. Even sugar and the way we eat, unhealthy coping mechanisms, is a disease because people are constantly chasing those dopamine fixes and those serotonin levels. It's like an alcoholic when they're so, what I call like a spinning top, and they just need something to make them feel better. And they take that first drink and they take that second drink, their insulin kicks in, the sugar level kicks in. And they get that dopamine fix, and they continue and they continue and they continue till not only does it chase their high, but it also brings their serotonin levels where they calm down. It's a vicious cycle, never understanding what the root cause is that even got them to the point that they are functioning alcoholics. I grew up in an alcoholic family. My father was a functioning alcoholic. The highs, the lows, you never knew when the shoe was going to drop. You never knew what kind of mood he was going to be in. Now, needless to say, I made that work for me until it didn't work for me. And walking away from that job, walking away from the abusive relationship, it was a clean slate. I could start from scratch, and I could rebuild with what I had learned, on top of using all my creative tools, my vision board. I have 5, 6 vision boards, knowing that I wanted to own a horse. I wanted to have a horse facility. Am I any closer to the horse facility? For every 2 steps, 3, 4 steps I get forward, it seems like I get a step back. That's just human nature. It's an obstacle that I am trying to overcome and adapt. You make do with what you have, but you don't stay stuck. You continue to go. You continue to grow. You continue to evolve to be into the person that you're supposed to be, because you've allowed your imagination to give you the confidence and the courage to do things other than what you were told to do as a child. It's not too late. You're not too old. You still have opportunities. You still have a whole plethora of things in front of you that if you were willing to take an uncalculated risk, you don't need predictable. You don't need structure. You don't need that rigidity into your life. You just need to learn to trust yourself. You learn to have self-discipline, knowing what you need to do in order for you to become the better and the whole part of who you are. These are things I teach in any of my classes, in my life coaching, in my business coaching, where I teach women mostly how to start a side hustle, how to take those gifts and talents, how to stretch the imagination and earn a dollar. In the last couple months, I've been in this really, really crazy funk. I lost my dog about a month and a half now ago, my Brucey boy, my boxer, who was 110 pounds. He was the extension of me, what I would probably call what you might want to say a support dog. He was unruly. He was a hot mess, but him and I had a connection and we had a bond. And since losing Bruce, and excuse me if I tear up, my foundation has been rocked. My plans of moving to this other place where he was going to go with me, the dog, and the little dog, who I had gotten for Bruce to calm him down. And let me say, trying to get her adjusted to 110 pounds not being with us, on top of the fact my house is so quiet. Bruce was a talker. He was a boxer. And anybody who's had a boxer, you know how vocal a boxer can be. So trying to deal with that grief in this funk of trying to understand why people will not use enrichment to make their lives better and be more effective in other areas in their life. I will work in the food and beverage industry till I can't. I will do my doubles as long as I can, as long as my hip is willing to function for me. But there is so much more to life that I'm entitled to, and the things that I am trying to achieve to get to. I want to have a small farm. I want chickens. I want to have a couple horses. I want to be able to train my horses, turn around, rehabilitate rescued horses, find them good homes. I want to be able to teach my art classes and teach my vision board classes. I want to be able to show women that there is a way out of the abuse. There is a way that you do learn to turn it off. It's about meditating. It's about believing in yourself. It's about believing none of it was your fault ever. You trusted. Somewhere along the line, you allowed your mind to trust somebody and gaslight you to be something that you were never meant to be in. I talk about a lot of these things in all of my classes. And for all you women out there who keep saying, I just want someone to provide for me. Financially, you can provide for yourself. When a man wants to provide for you, you need to be very careful that it does not turn into a controlled environment, because he cannot fight his way out of his own codependency, because he needs predictability, he needs familiar, he needs structure, because he doesn't know how to think on his own. So therefore, he will control your environment, allow you to think that you need him for his money so you don't have to become anything more. And in some way, shape, or form, it is abuse. And a man, once he recognizes what he is doing, he will understand that a woman who he loves needs to be whole on her own, creating her own financial environment, working on the things that she needs to do in order to make herself feel happy and feel long-term joy. And for you other women who just keep taking men's money, shame on you. Shame on you. In the long run, you're going to end up old and all alone, because you didn't find the value in what real love and real partnership looks like. Again, I'm Kitryn Marie. I reside in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm an artist, a writer, a speaker, a life and a business coach. If you were interested in taking any of my classes, please send me an email at kitrynmarie@gmail.com. Find me on all the social medias. Just hashtag Kitryn Marie. Trust me, I'm there. I'm going to show up. Thank you for tolerating this 31-minute and 49-second live video. Those that have popped on and popped off, thank you. Please share. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to, want to know what you're doing. How are you doing, and what are you doing to enrich your life? Are you taking a trip? Are you taking care of your image? Are you taking care of your weight and your health? Are you taking care of your mental mind? Because you need clarity in order to be truly happy in this life. Understanding why you are wired, hardwired the way that you are, and how you can undo all the bad things that you were taught to do growing up. So for today, for tomorrow, be happy, be blessed, be thankful for all the wonderful things that do come into your life. Remember, fate does turn on a dime, and only you get to decide what side of the coin you want to be on. So y'all take care, and I will see you real soon, okay? Bye.